And the Miners are going to celebrate.
Hey, Brandon, don't hold your head down. Ain't your fault. Ain't your fault, boys.
Well, no, they're not going to have to run another play. The play clock has not begun yet, and this football game is over. Our final score on the Graber Post Building scoreboard, the Football Regional Championship belongs to the Linton Miners, a 28-0 winner. Back after this 60-second timeout, this is a Media 5 sports production. Miners are hooping it up down on the field here at Roy Williams Field. And it's Linton 28, Milan nothing. That is our final. As we'll be getting Dan Phillips down on the field for coaches and player interviews. Linton is the regional champion. They'll play now next Friday night at Indianapolis Scecina against the Scecina Crusaders. As the big red and blue flag with the L right in the middle of it. The conglomeration of players and fans. Out at the 40-yard line.
Oh, I'm making my way out in the field. The wind is mighty brisk out here, Keith.
Yeah, it is. Can you hear me okay? Your air feed's all right?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Trying to catch up with the hoops and hollers that you hear happening in midfield with a big Linton sign. Just an outstanding job while I'm out here, Keith. They held Strunk to just 66 yards, 26 carries, 71 yards rushing total, 84 total pass, 155 yards by the defense. The offense had 185 yards rushing, led by 107 from Kent Helton, and just 90 yards passing, 281 total for the Miners to do something that they've been looking to do for quite some time. Seeing Coach Weber right now talking to Coach Weber talking to everybody as they're looking around, trying to. It's going to be hard to find anybody that's not busy. The coach is all. Quick word with you, Coach. Congrats.
Hey, thanks.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Here, I'll just get in on this.
Great. Oh, the defense played outstanding. You know, last half, well, the whole year defense has been playing great and played against a great running back, and that defense is outstanding.
66 yards total.
Oh, outstanding.
Offense was kind of inconsistent tonight.
Yeah, it was. That's a good defense. They playing a two-man scheme on us, and we couldn't shake the man routes tonight. But we had some nice running games. Got to mix Coy in there a little bit, and he made some things happen. So you know, we'll take what the defense gives us. We had a little trouble passing. We'll go with the run.
Third or fourth time in the semi-state for the Linton Miners. I don't know the exact number, but it's got to be something special for you.
I love it, but let's make sure we do better in the semi-state this time. We have the last few times. So yeah, we want to get one step further than that. But yeah, it's definitely special.
How important was that to get the first score on the scoreboard tonight?
Huge against a team like this, because you guys saw in the second quarter they controlled the ball pretty much the whole quarter, and luckily got a little fumble there at the end of the quarter. We got a score, but a team like that can ground the ball, you know, it's huge to step out quick.
You know, they were playing without their regular quarterback. Were you afraid that maybe that really changed what they were going to do against you?
Absolutely didn't change anything we had planned. What we were going to do against them. I don't think at that point in time they could change a whole lot what they were going to do. They were going to ride their running back, rightly so. He's a great kid, great line in front of him. and they did what they had to do. And we weren't, we were playing like he was going to be there.
This was a game tonight that really highlighted the defense.
Oh, without doubt. Defense is playing awesome. I mean, what a turnaround from last year to this year. I mean, our defense.
Just a really, really solid effort, and they came through when they had to.
You're hearing the fireworks in the background, folks.
Like I said, tonight when our offense is struggling a little bit, defense did a great job, and that's good. That's good to know that we don't have to score all the time. We can do some different things and work some things out, and they got our backs, and it was a great night for them.
Offensively, it seemed like things.
I'll bow out of that one and try to catch Steve later on. Like you said, the fireworks are going off. Kids trying to find them. They've all disappeared on me. Wait a minute, I got AK coming down there. I'll catch him. I got him and his dad, which I hate to jump in on conversations, but I got dual Carazias. I got 3 Carazias got me with me here. AK tonight, one of those nights where the passing game wasn't what was going to get us there, but the rushing game did the job. Still, pretty dang good job by your offensive line.
Yeah, offensive line, week in and week out. It's just they work hard, and then it shows in the games like this. They took away the pass early. They did an excellent job of that. We just ran the ball, and we took what they gave us.
Now, throwing the ball in this strong wind, being up in the booth, you don't feel it, but you can feel it when you're down here. How does that alter what you're trying to do?
Ultimately, it does. It alters what we want to do. It's tough to pass, but I mean, we went through it as much as we could and just tried to do what we do.
Of course, you set your own personal season high tonight with 4 carries offensively. It still scares me every time you do it. Were those planned rushes? One of them didn't look like a plan.
I'm pretty sure they're all planned rushes. Coach Weber just calls the plays, things I can run on, and I don't know, try to get yards.
Last thing to ask you, AK, how good does it feel to bring that regional trophy to Linton High School?
It's phenomenal. I was in 8th grade the last time I won regional, and I always wanted to be a part of it. And right now I can't even describe what's going on.
Well, enjoy tonight. You got Indianapolis Cecina coming up next week. You've done a whale of a job. Hopefully we'll be talking to you next week. Keith, I'll send it to you. Get some commercials in.
While you're down there, you might check with Charlie Carazia just to make
you.
sure that game, in his opinion, will be played on Friday rather than on Saturday. Something that you could do down there. But the final score again for the football regional championship for the Miners, 28-0, as Linton goes to 13-0 on the season.
We know that. I talked to Cecina a couple days ago.
Okay. Are we still on out there?
Yeah.
He definitely verified the game was going to be on Friday night at University of Indianapolis. Shooting for a 7:30 start time.
All right. So Indianapolis Cecina ranked number 10 in the state. They were winners, of course, in their regional matchup at North Vermilion. So because the Miners hosted the regional and Cecina went on the road, Cecina would get to host, and of course they play at the University of Indianapolis. So that's where the game will be taking place. Of course, we'll have it for you right here on WQTY from Media 5 Sports.
Well, I'm back down here, Keith. I got the defensive coordinator, Mike Hayden, here. I know you're under the weather. How are you feeling right now?
I'm just a little bit tired, but, a great goose egg and a victory like that makes you feel a lot better.
Not only was it a goose egg, Mike, you held this kid who's had over 100 yards in every game, run for over 200 yards in the last 3 games, 380 yards last week. He gets 66 tonight on 26 carries.
Defense played well. I mean, we had some things installed, not necessarily just to stop him, but, when we get the secondary involved in stopping the run and the guys reading their keys and triggering when they have to, it's a team defense, and it's not one kid on that one back. Everybody did their job, and that's what happens, when you contain a good runner like that.
Well, what you got is when they did that quick pitch out to Strunk. That seemed to be where they tried to get their success. Spread the field out, and he was trying to find a zone that he could run into. How important was it for your outside backers or your cornerbacks to come out and strafe that out? And again, those inside backers coming in had to make the tackle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they did a good job on the offense. I knew it was going to be tough because all of their multiple formations, they were trying to hit, trying to find out who's weak coming in, filling that gap, whether it's the B gap, the C gap, or out in the D gap. And to string that play out, it allows our corners and our safeties and guys like that to come up and get the run on the edge if they have to. And we told our backers, he's such a good runner. We saw down here at Flath, run through a window that he should have run through to make the tackle. But the guy juked him and got right behind him and ran right back through the same gap that Flath came through. And I told them, as primarily at halftime, I said, when you get the run-through window, don't run through it. Stay in it. Let him come to you. We'll form a solid wall there. And they did a good job of it.
You got to be extremely proud of your defensive unit, Coach. You got a big test, of course, with Cecina coming up next week, but we'll let you enjoy this one tonight. Another regional championship. How good does that feel?
It's going to be it's awesome, and Cecina next week. I haven't watched him, but I think they run a little bit more option than these guys. So we got another big test next week. Thank you.
Congratulations, Coach. Well, Keith, as you can see, they got out of here quick tonight.
Yeah, the players have all moved over down toward the gym or wherever they've gone. So the field is a lot more empty. You got Steve Weber down there. You might get a chance.
Let me get a hold of him.
Coach is just back at the 45-yard line. So
you want me to run a couple of sprint rounds real fast?
That would be kind of neat. I don't expect mouth-to-mouth resuscitation though.
I don't. There's a lot of people out here for that. Hopefully I can get Coach to talk to me now. I know he's extremely busy, but they're taking care of stuff as we speak. Another big night by, let me bring that up, Kenton Helton had 107 yards rushing for the Miners. An excellent job, a lot of tough running. Kaiser with 10 runs for 76 and caught 3 for 80. Coach, now it's just me and you. I know between me and you, this has been something that your team has worked hard for. Really, you work hard for it every year, but this year there was a lot of people that thought this is going to be a team that's going to go far. How good does it feel to see that reality happen right now?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's the greatest feeling in the world, and I'm just happy. I'm happy for the guys. They've worked real hard for this off season, in the summer, through the season. Just a great amount of work by them, and it's a good feeling.
You had to be a little nervous when you saw Strunk's first carry busted through the line for 8 yards, and I was thinking, uh-oh. And he did look a lot like Wester, but boy, your defensive line once again seems like they did dominate up front again. With Butler had just had an off-the-wall night with tackles.
Well, it's awesome. They're playing a great year, and just what a difference in 1 year from last to this and how we're playing defensively. But I knew he was going to get his yards. He's a very good running back, and that didn't concern me at all. I knew we'd right the ship. I got all the confidence in the world in that defensive line. I mean, they're pretty good.
Well, you didn't want to give up the big play. Certainly didn't want to see Strunk break loose for some 78-yard gain, which we didn't allow to happen all night. I think they had 2 drives of 9 minutes, ate up almost all the second quarter, almost all the fourth quarter, but here we are with a 21-0 lead. You didn't mind that too much, did you?
Well, you talked to Coach Jennings, and he says you can be happy for just a little bit. He said, you're being negative. I was over there ranting and raving. But you know what? At this point in the year, I don't care who's doing the scoring, how we're doing the scoring. Just keep moving on.
Well, it was clearly not a game, the passing game. I heard you talking earlier. Maybe the fans did too. A little bit of trouble with getting the passing game to work. Maybe the wind looked like a couple of them were stopped at. And they got a little bit of pressure towards AK, but how about the running game of Kaiser and Helton? Both of these guys ran the ball hard, and again, 185 yards rushing for the Miners tonight.
No, I'm happy. It's a numbers game, really. They given us 5 in the box, and we had to go with the run. And we tried to get some passes in there. We were successful a little bit. AK was off a little bit just here and there. Nothing major. We could have made the catches, didn't. Little things like that. It felt like every time we had the ball, we were into the wind. And when we had the win in our favor, they kept it for 9 minutes.
I know, twice we got in the red zone in the second half, and both times it looked like we were gearing to go in and had some mistakes happen. And knowing you that you weren't real happy with that with what happened there.
No, you'll ask the coaches, and I'm not going to be real happy with that. And against the man coverage, I felt like we should have got open a lot more. We did. I'm not so sure we ran great routes. We'll have to go look at the film, see what happened.
A lot of people, Coach, coming in this contest statewide wondered how Linton would do against a team that had beaten some other bigger teams. Their schedule was so much better than ours. Their guys are bigger. They faced much bigger guys. But I think the Miners came in tonight, put a goose egg on the team that has put up some pretty big numbers statewide against some big teams. How proud are you overall? I know I've said this 15 times, but how proud are you overall right now to be the Miners coach?
I'm extremely proud. I don't want to go anywhere. As long as they'll keep me here, I'm here. I love it.
Congratulations, Coach. I know you got a long week ahead of you. Knowing you, I got Indianapolis to see you next week. Congratulations to you again.
All right, thanks, Big D.
All right, Keith, I think short of me running a 100-yard sprint.
Yeah, they've just all run away from you right now. So it's an empty field, and Dan will be making his way back up to the press box, and we will take a break and allow Dan to do that. We'll be back on the Great River Post Building scoreboard, the regional championship. Final score, Linton 28, Milan nothing. Back in 60 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production. Entire family by Wilkins Overhead Doors, sales, installation, repair, and broken spring specialist in Linton. Wilkins Overhead Doors in Linton. Well, we've got Dan now back up in the press box, and certainly a lot of happy folks in Linton as the Miners win the football regional 28-0, and they will go to Indianapolis next Friday night to take on Indianapolis Cecina. And as I look at Cecina, the regional champion last night, winning at North Vermilion. Cecina's 10-3, and their 3 losses, Dan, have been to some pretty good football teams. They've lost to Speedway, a 2A team that was awfully good, 27-3. That was in week 2 of the season. They lost on September 16th to Indianapolis Roncalli, 40-13.
That's just a 4A team.
And then their other loss was to a team that Linton folks will remember really well, Indianapolis Ritter. They lost to Ritter 45-28. They beat Indianapolis Lutheran 42-7 late in the season, and of course it was Lutheran that took Milan right down to the wire before finally losing.
You remember too that that was the week after Lutheran had beaten, I want to say, Speedway. So all year long we've heard quite a bit about Lutheran, and we've heard quite a bit about Cecina, and I think this is a good. It was a good test for the Miners to see how they handled a strong running attack. Now I know Cecina is going to have a more wide open option attack. Listening to what they did, they got a running back named Tarver that's evidently a lightning speed, and it's just going to be another big test for the Miners, and of course it'll be a road test. We won't be in the friendly confines, but it sure was exciting to see the Miners out there celebrating tonight.
So we think the game most likely will kick off about 7:30 next Friday, and they play at the University of Indianapolis.
Yeah, we'll be inside, so the cold weather won't have anything to do with this. So Coach Carazia was definitely adamant. He said it's definitely Friday. He's already spoken to Cecina, and they're shooting for a 7:30 start time. So
all right, that means we'll be on the air at 7 o'clock for the semi-state. And the Miners are just now one step away from playing at the home of the Colts in Indianapolis. That's Lucas Oil Stadium on the day after Thanksgiving. And the other matchup in the northern part of the state, of course, will be Sheridan against Lafayette Central Catholic. Linton and Lafayette Central Catholic, the only remaining undefeated teams in Class 1A, and they're both 13-0. Milan's season ends with a record of 11-2. Time now for our Graber Post Building Star of the Game. If it's time for a new roof, make sure you talk to the folks at Graber Post about all the advantages of a new metal roof. Call 800-264-5013 or go online to graberpost.com. Back with the star of the game and a wrap-up after this timeout for Graber Post Buildings. A nice 28-0 victory for Linton here at home in the football regional, but this is the last game here at Roy Williams Field this season. And who's our star of the game, Dan?
I wish I could give it to the entire defense. Obviously, I can't, but in a great effort by Kent Helton, again, 11 carries, 107 yards. But I think I called Tanner Butler's name tonight on the defensive line many times and helped to bottle up one of the state's top leading rushers. So I'm going to go with senior Tanner Butler. Just on the effort he made tonight. I don't have the computer on to tell you the tackles, but it had to be a lot. If he didn't have a hand in it, he helped push him inside for somebody else to make the tackle.
Well, congratulations to Tanner Butler. He is our Graber Post Building Star of the Game, and for being named Star of the Game, REMC pleased to donate another $50 to the Linton Stockton Athletic Department. That from Utilities District of Western Indiana. REMC, a strong supporter of local and area high school sports. Well, next Friday night, then at 7:30, unofficially 7:30, at Indianapolis Cecina, we'll be on the air for the football semi-state. Invite you to tune in for all the action. Again, our final score tonight in the football regional, it's Linton going to 13-0. The Miners 28, Milan nothing. For Dan Phillips and then for Ken Booth, our studio engineer, I'm Keith Doades. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good night from Linton.